What is going on, guys? Bacon50 here. Just making a video really quick here to tell you about what exactly is going on with the new game mode for Paladins. As you can see, I locked in Grok here, and what you can tell too is there isn't a place for you to choose your deck. Now you're going to do that in-game while you're in the spawn zone. So you can choose your skin, weapon skin, and your mount still. But right here and just in this main lobby, you're just going to choose your champion and wait, basically, for all the other champs to lock in and for the enemy team to lock in so they can keep going. But the new game mode is just called Siege. It's basically a mix between Capture and Siege and Payload. So what you do is you're going to go and cap a point, and if you do cap the point, you will get a siege of your a payload, and you have to escort that payload into the enemy base. It's not all throughout the to like the vault, but it's to the through the front gate. But now you'll press U to choose your gate. They still have pre-built decks, but then you can also customize 4 of your own. I already have all mine. So right here, you're basically gonna wait until everyone loads in, but they changed the UI for your what it looks like basically for your scoreboard. On the left side is going to be your credits. On the right side is going to be it goes kills. I believe it goes kills, eliminations, or kills, deaths, eliminations, and I can't remember what the last one there is. But basically, you know, it just says like solo kills, deaths, eliminations, and then there's something else I can't remember what it was. But then the credits. So the credit system is the burn cards. The burn cards were shared cards. So the blast shields, the bless, sterilize, those cards that are more for everyone because they help counter other people or morale boost, stuff like that. So as you can see, it's basically the same though. You'll go towards a point, fishing village and enchanted forest, but you go towards a point and you'll try and cap that. Basically, this part is the capture and siege. You know, it is what it is. It's very fun to me. I think to cap it, it brings a little bit of that MOBA aspect, but as you can see, it still has the FPS with you know, still shooting and fighting and all the, which is, to me, is where it seems like Paladin's going. It's going more FPS. For good or for bad, it seems like that's where it's going. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I like it. I think it's fun. It definitely is a little bit different. From what I can tell, a lot of people don't like this mode, but I really enjoy it. I think it brings two different sides to capture and siege. There's a lot of strategy. Okay, there's a different strat for capping the point, and then there will be a different strat for escorting the payload, and those are very fun. And I think the best strat right now, if you just overall, is knowing when yourself, or if you're doing up with a team with comms, when to go in and when to get the fuck out. And that's a big, and that sounds really simple. It's like, oh, you know, it's time to go, but there are going to be times where that is hard because people won't. People will be like, they'll be hunting for a kill. They get that tunnel vision. They want to get that kill. One person's really low. Like right now, look, that Sky was running towards their Sky to get the kill, and she didn't. Lucky for her, she did get that kill, which is pretty lucky because Barrack was chasing her and had turrets, but eventually she does die. So is it better for her to back off, considering how close we were to capping that point? Back off and get it? Probably, but it didn't happen. So then basically, as you can see, you know, they have the payload here. This probably is the worst ult ever, like best ult NA right there, but it was just to survive. But yeah, so now you're gonna get a payload here, and you're gonna try and escort it. You have to stand near it, just like in the payload before. You have to stand near it to move it, and the enemy team can. So for my team, since we lost that siege, we can, and we will stand next to it to push it back, which is, to me, is really cool because someone has to escort it, right? If you don't stand next to it, it's not gonna work. People aren't, you know, you're just not gonna win. And then if the enemy team or the team who's trying to push it backwards is too far behind and they can't do it, or you know, they're just pushing it freely, and there are going to be zones on each map where it's harder to push through just because you can funnel them in and kill them pretty easily. Now, in saying that, there's also really easy spots to move to. A lot of people always complained about how unbalanced Payload is, but really, to me, now with Capture and Siege and with these maps, it's a lot more balanced, or at least it feels more balanced than it did before. I have been on teams that have escorted the Payload very easily, and I've been on teams that have defended it, you know, as many times as possible. You can, as long as you don't even ever have to finish the escorting the Payload to win the game, which I think is a really, really cool part, where Payload before seemed really hard because you had to get it to a certain point to win. It's not like if you, you know, if you got it over halfway through the map, you were winning. It was, if you didn't get to the end, you fucking lost. And that was really hard, and I feel like that's why it was so, why people felt like it was so unbalanced, was because no one could do anything. It was too easy to bottleneck people. It was too easy to funnel them in and destroy people like that. So as you can see, now they're up 2 points. It's first to 4 wins. Now you can see you have the credits, you have kills, deaths, or eliminations, deaths, and then you have your credits. You press I to look at all of your cards. You have defensive cards, utility cards, healing, and damage. Each of them are assigned allotment of points, and you get points, you get credits by getting kills, getting eliminations, and capping a point. It's basically a point. It's a gold system, which is actually really cool, and people are complaining about this because it allows the team who wins the first cap to snowball. But if you're talking about MOBAs, in every single MOBA there is some form, of snowballing, and this one isn't really that bad because, see, I did decently on my team, and I had a lot of credits. I had 500 credits in 1 round, so I got to buy Morale Boost, which is a card that will help you with getting your ultimate quicker, and then there is the Blast Shield, so I don't take as much damage. I think it's like 350 now instead of 600. 350 damage and above will reduce it. Then I won't take as much. So there's that. Then see, these guys have a different strat. Their strat was to kind of push off Kinessa, which is a good strat because Kinessa doesn't have a good escape. She isn't good at getting away or up close because Ruckus is going to out DPS her anyway. He just has so much deeps, it's just ridiculous. So the best build now, at least in my opinion, is going to be tanky. You have to build a tanky build because if you don't, you won't be able to cap the siege, and if you don't cap the siege, you'll never win. Like I said, you don't need to technically escort. It's just like with capture siege, obviously. If you didn't cap the point, you would never get a siege, you would never win. But this one's a little bit different because you can get 2 points in 1 round, a quote-unquote round. Each round is a siege, or is a capture point, and then the payload. That's 1 round. So in that sense of the word, yeah, like you just have to. You don't have to escort the payload to win, but you do need to capture a point. And so if you have any, it's a tank meta. It's still tanky. It's still Barrack, Buck, Ruckus. Ruckus is really strong right now. Grok is exceptionally strong. His range is just super long. His damage per second is really strong. His ultimate's ridiculous. Plus his movement speed is pretty crazy, especially with Ghost Walk going longer. The only reason why I stood on point there was because they were going to get in. I just was trying to hold off for the team, but you can see I'm kind of upset about that. But it just, it's definitely a fun thing. To me, it lends more towards strategy than just personal skill, because there will be times where you need to push and times where you have to back off. Now, obviously, the death before I died there, I had to push. I had to be on base because we were going to lose. If I didn't, it didn't really matter all that much that I didn't, right? Like almost at all, it didn't matter, because if I had just given it to him, I would have died anyway. Their whole team was there. So might as well try. But here you can see this is where on Enchanted Forest where there's going to be a lot of bottlenecking and a lot of funneling. Where it's this part right here is going to be the hardest part for the enemy team to pass, just because it's very close knit. They have to sit, all of them kind of have to sit there, or one of them or two of them have to sit there. But it's really easy to hit. one thing I can say, if you ever play Grak, please try to do your best to not ever have to reload. I fucked up there, and that's probably why we lost, because I could have backed out, and I didn't. But you still have a score, and it will still show you your everyone's ults, and you can actually click on your champion or other champions to see exactly what their build is. I don't believe you can see what burn cards they're using, but you can pretty much say, I think you can safely assume that everyone's going to be using blast shields and morale boost. Maybe not, but I think so. Maybe develop as well, but so that they can increase their health. But I know for sure I'm going to be using morale boost. I think a lot of people are going to use aggression, because aggression is on there to increase the damage, but it does cost 400 points. So my first round I had 500. If I would have saved it and not bought anything, I could have done that, or I could have just bought morale boost to help with my ultimate, or whatever, however you want to build it. But I think it builds an economy system to where you have to think about saving. You have to think about what you want to do for, you know, as a team. Do we want to build with the burn cards, or do we want to? We lost one round with 1 point. But we got a lot of kills, so we have a lot of points, or how do we want to do it? But I think that's the fun part. So as you can see, the scoreboards here is still the same. Tried to carry my team, couldn't do it. But that's the new game mode. Please let me know what you guys think about the new game mode. If you guys are new and what you guys hate or love about it. I personally really enjoy it. I think it lends for strategy, and it's more than just personal skill. It's more than just Buck flying around and jumping on you and hitting you for 600 damage. It's more than Ruckus and Eevee just flying around and doing stuff, because it is extremely objective based. So that's it, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and there will be more of Paladins videos to come. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.